everybody. How are you today? We got our mic going. We have Laura Jean here today because Megan's working late with me tonight. But welcome to the basement. We're going to keep working on this dresser, a copycat dresser that I saw over on Instagram on a reel from IOD, from Iron Orchid Designs. Let me get some cords out of the way. And we will, let's see if we're live yet. It might. There it is. Okay. Beautiful. We have some people watching. We are going to say hello in just a second after I do a little bit of an intro. I'm Lynn. This is L&J Goods. We're here on YouTube. And we probably have to turn the volume down. Beautiful. Yeah, we do. Look at that. We are going to say that's me. In just a second after I do and of course, I have no. This is L&J Goods. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We are what we are. We're not highly polished at this, but anyway, this dresser, we're on our third week, but I wanted to take you right along on the journey with us. Today we're going to be doing some very, very basic blending, and then we're going to wax this, and we're going to add a little bit of detail to this mold trim that I put on here. If you missed the first 2 weeks, they're in the live tab here on our page. If you go up to the top of the page, you'll see videos, live, shorts, and playlists. We're up there under the live tab. So I always feel like you're getting like a free class here on how to do all the things. We have used the IOD paint inlay, Rose Chintz on here. I've used Petticoat Pink and Mint Chip, 2 DIY colors. Now I'm going to be using a little bit of White Swan just to blend into that pink paint to give a little bit of highlight. I'll let you in on a secret. I did already put a little coat of pink on here, and so it's already wet underneath. When you're blending with DIY paint, you definitely want to work wet into wet to get a nice blend. Laura Jean, who's watching with us today?
We've got Shannon Booth.
Hi, Shannon.
Stephanie B2, Judy Gunlock, Lori McKinney, Wendy Z. I'm not going to try to say your name.
Wendy Z.
Sandra Holtzmuller.
Hi, Sandy.
Diane Ty Bayers, Karen Allen, Sandy Roberts, Catherine Mahone, Karen Atterbury, Mary Jo Lowe, Jane Brown. I think that's everybody so far.
You know why Mary Jo's here? It's lunchtime. Mary Jo always says she knows when it's time for our live because her stomach starts growling. And it's lunchtime for her.
And Laura Hall just.
Hi, Laura. Laura and Mary Jo are going to be up here in May. We cannot wait to see our friends for our creative retreat. So, you know, you can get different effects when you're blending with DIY paint. You can get a little bit of a dry brushed effect, or you can do that wet on wet. If you need a little help moving that paint, by all means give it a little mist, and look at that. It just literally blends like magic. I love this, and the reason that I'm doing this is just to give it a little bit of a variation in depth and tone. We also have just a touch of if you remember last week, I got bold and I actually splattered some different colors on here and kind of gave Megan a little bit of a fit. But you see how it all kind of blends together. And just like with any kind of, when I'm doing any kind of a composition, for example, and that is what we're doing here. We're building a composition of color. I have pink here, but I also want to make sure I've got a little bit of pink in here. I want to make sure that some of this mint chip is found in a few other places too. And that might be a really, really subtle effect, but when you look, you know it's there. And if you can see up close, I kind of covered over with pink, but that mint chip is under there as well. So right now, I'm literally just grabbing my Mr. Mister, and I am dipping into my white. I'm wetting that pink layer, and I'm just going to kind of blend a little over top. It's almost like a whitewash. I hope everybody's having a grand day today. A lot of you are over in our Facebook private workshop. We're doing junk journaling. Can you imagine we go from dressers to junk journaling? But that's just what we do here because we like all the stuff, right? Who's a Debbie's DIY user? Let us know.
So Corrine jumped on.
Hi,
Mary
Corrine.
Casey, Linda Lynch, Pat Reed, Linda Renwick, Martha Graham.
My goodness, all of our friends are here. Can we see over here? Maybe.
It's
Okay.
behind,
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually shift this just a touch, you guys, and I'm gonna shift this down and maybe come in just a little bit closer so you can see closer up. Sorry, digging out from snow. I just saw a comment. Man,
Jane Brown.
you got hit by that nor'easter. We're far enough west in New York State that typically that's not too big of an issue for us. But we've had a blustery week. And last night it got a little bit windy.
Karen Atterbury says, I sure am. Love DIY.
Good.
And
Now,
Maureen said she's using WDIY Blue Iris on the wine bottles now.
oh, Corrine, yes.
Mediterranean blue color on them.
Yes, very pretty. And so, honestly, like I said, this is one of the easiest ways for you to blend this DIY paint and get a little bit of a dimension going on here. I'm not getting real fussy about all the detail around my molds because I'm going to be painting right over those molds. Now, you might notice that there is a different color on there. I took a little bit of faded burlap and I kind of painted over that. It isn't a perfect paint job, but I wanted another warmer tone underneath because I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm going to use some golden ticket on this. And you know how it goes with me. I don't always know exactly the color I'm going to use until I'm ready to get to that step. I wish that I could plan better, but it doesn't always happen that way. So there we go. How about that? But every time that I apply a little bit more paint, I can either mist my brush or I can mist the piece itself because this paint will reactivate with water.
I don't think the camera's going down that far for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just catching like the top drawer.
Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. All right, can we see? But there you go. I think that that's probably going to do it for me, but I can always go back in. I can add a little bit more. We're not going to be dealing with the top of this dresser today, but see, when I lay down that paint, I mist, and it kind of blends then right into that background paint. And you can just keep doing this for as many times as you want to
Patty
add the detail.
Levine said, oh, I love that. This is so gorgeous.
Hi, Patty. Isn't it pretty? Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this. Now, again, we've got our faded burlap here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this just a very quick blow dry. I hate having to do that to you guys, but we're going to be then working on this center area. I'm going to distress this a little bit, and then we're going to start to add some wax to it. So hold up a second. a little sanding block first, and then we'll dry this. But what I also did is I kind of went over this, and I had some paint left in my brush last week, so I just kind of slapped it over and highlighted a little bit more and faded out some of those roses. But I really want this to get soft, a real soft look to it. A lot of my distressing and aging is going to be done with those waxes.
Stephanie said, love the highlights of the white.
Yes, it really does make a difference, doesn't it? Does anybody else hate distressing chalk paint like this? Oh. And we can also wet distress our paint. I don't know that I'm going to do that on this piece. You can. But remember, when I put this inlay on, I added some white and some pink and kind of splotched it on with a rag. And while it was wet, that's when I applied the inlay. And you'll notice with these inlays, when you distress them with a sanding block, they are powdery, so you're going to get some fallout. But how pretty is that going to be? Oh my goodness. And I'm just going to take a cloth and dust that down. Sorry, I keep going.
Said, oh, I love that. I always wet distress when I can because of the sound of sandpaper on the chalk paint.
Isn't that the truth? And you know what else, Patty? It's like, I swear, it's like I will get my nails done and have a perfectly wonderful manicure, and then it's just all dusty and chalky and dry and gross. Yeah. Yes. So our friend Patty Levine is here. She is one of the wonderful contributors at the Turquoise Iris Journal, and she writes some pretty cool stuff over there. I love her insight. And I am super stoked for this next issue because Deanne invited me to be a featured whatever you call us. And I'm so excited.
Artist? Guest?
Guest, artist, I don't know what we call ourselves over there. But this kind of fades this down just a little bit. Can we see? Oh, I gotta tip that camera down a little bit more. I'm sorry, you guys. That's better.
It's part of the delay for me to like.
Yes, I understand. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. And then what it also does is it just gives me a really smooth surface on which to wax. And I like that. And I like it. Okay, that faded that out just a little bit, but where you're really going to see a change happen is when we, when I use our waxes.
Patty said, you're so sweet. I can't wait to see your feature in the journal.
I'm excited about it because when I was kind of in touch with Dion, and she's always kind of loved the story of L&J Goods and how we found the building and how we built our business. So that's that might be a little bit of what you're gonna see, and I hope it's okay for me to share that.
Sandy Roberts said, is Megan still recuperating from the time change?
Poor thing, I know. We are so thrown off this week. Not only time change, but then we've been working. We've got that private group thing going on. So seriously, it's like we come in later in the day and then we're here late at night and we're live 3 nights in a row. So it's been quite a week, you know? But we're good. We're good. We always adjust and adapt and get the job done. I'm going to scrape this back just a little more. Make sure I've got... Oh my gracious, is that pretty? I just can't get over this rose chintz. It is truly one of the classic best inlays to use for a project like this. I'm gonna just let this dry on its own. I think that let me think, maybe, well, no, I'm gonna blow dry it because then I can wax the whole thing all in one shot.
Patty wants to know, are you going to use clear or white wax?
I'm gonna use both, Patty, and maybe a little dark wax too. This is pretty dry already because I didn't add a lot of water or a lot of paint.
Jane Brown said this is her favorite inlay.
Is it, Jane? I know. You can do so much with it. And it has a very classic, vintage, cottagey kind of look to it.
Your head cut off, but
Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, I got a bad angle going on there. Yikes. Oh well, it is what it is for someone my age, I guess. Okay. I think that is good. That is good. All right, I'm liking the way that looks so far. So why don't we get a little detail on here and see how that golden ticket is going to look, and then we will go ahead and do some waxing. So let me make sure I've got a good camera angle, and I'm going to get
Elena Bird just popped on, said hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Elena. It is always so good to see all of our friends here. You guys are wonderful. Sorry for the jiggling. Oh, okay, I'm gonna grab a little something to sit on. And please let us know if anybody has any questions.
Stephanie B2 said, do you sell recycled paper? I found the print I want for the inside doors of the cabinet, the one with the bird in the nest.
Oh, fun. Yes, Stephanie. Go to our website, lnjgoods.com. We sell all the stuff. We have lots of papers there. This little tote right here was actually a nod to Dion and her drop cloth paintings that she was doing, and a drop cloth dresser that she applied her drop cloths to. And so I messaged her, and with her permission, I followed her. I looked at her tutorial, and I recreated the look just with paint and on this little tote. That is a video over on the DIY A Go-Go page. Those were the days, back in the DIY A Go-Go days. I don't even know if anybody's doing videos over there still, but I did quite a few for Debbie, and it was fun. This is Golden Ticket, one of the most beautiful vintagey golds there is. And I've got a few brushes here, and I'm just gonna begin to add a little detail. I don't even know if this will be the final, and I don't know that I want to fill this in completely. I might because I'm really liking that grungier look that I've got going on here with those different layers of paint. If you remember when I painted this, I was not concerned about my other colors getting up on that IOD mold, because I knew that I wanted a really interesting bunch of texture and depth on this. But oh boy, is that pretty. And that is truly just the kind of look that I want. Right there. Like it's been around forever and a day, Laura. We like that look, don't we?
Oh, absolutely.
So, okay, so you and I are both neutral lovers for decor.
Definitely.
In our homes, right?
Definitely.
I think that's how Laura, Jean, and I found each other, right?
Yep.
And lo and behold, we only live like 3 miles from each other. That was the craziest thing, wasn't it?
It was.
It was so funny to think of that. So, Laura Jean and I go back a little ways, and she was kind of featured in a couple of videos that we did for one of our, I think, Ellen J. Good's Christmas Facebook groups we did, and we did a little Christmas cottage tour of her place, and well, and here she is now. She's sitting here helping.
I'm a stalker.
No, you're not a stalker. No, you're not. I kind of stalk you.
Well, I've been coming to the store when it was next door, so I was visiting since back then, and you didn't know who I was then. But
No, isn't that funny? It's just so funny how, what a small world, and what a small county.
it is.
Laura and I live like literally in the midst of Amish farmland where we are. So it's just kind of interesting to me that of all of Orleans County and all of the Amish community in Orleans County, which then eliminates that big chunk of population.
Yeah.
And people decorate the way they decorate, but that you and I, being so close together geographically, kind of share the same vibe. It's just so cool to me.
And then on top of it, where you live down there, Chattagee, my grandparents used to own that lot and have the restaurant Chattagee.
That was your grandparents?
It was.
I didn't know that.
It was.
Does JR know that?
I don't know if he does or not.
Oh my gosh, JR used to, well, he spent his summers there. And
that was the swimming hole.
Oh yeah.
That was the best place to swim. Had the stairs and everything.
Yeah, no more.
Nope.
It's a big, big rock wall.
Yeah.
But can you guys see this? I mean, are you able to see up close and see how this is looking? Laura Jean, can you look in the camera and see if
it's? I mean, you could zoom in a little
just
more,
to
but
get
I don't want to.
No, I know.
I don't want to
yeah.
lose what you're doing.
I get
too.
you. Yep, I get you.
So you just zoom right on here.
Yeah, I
Like with
just
your
use my. You might be able to come in just so you can see the beautiful texture that we got on here. And I want you to see how imperfectly I'm painting this. You can see pink here, you can see some mint, you can see white, you can see that faded burlap, and a little bit of this gold on top now. But I like that. I really, really like that.
Stephanie said, "Oh, I just watched a video of the Amish building a barn in a day. Amazing community effort," and they really do.
They do. It's, yeah. They all come together, right? And they have really good baked goods.
Oh, they do. They really do.
Oh my gosh.
And they're all just so kind. Really
honestly,
nice.
We have some close neighbors too that JR calls upon, and they will come and they'll answer questions. They'll help him with anything that he needs. Can I ask you just to throw those in some water over there? All right, so there we go. Let's dry that paint job real quick. I really, really like that.
Lot says her house is decorated in neutrals too, with the odd accent of blue here and there.
I think what I was going to ask you is, when you see something like this, does it make you like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have that in my house?
It does, but more so when I see these people paint like a charcoal wall in their house or have like a deep velvet green sofa.
Oh my gosh, yes.
If we put that in our house, it would look ridiculous.
Maybe it would depend on the scale of it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Like maybe an ottoman, but not, I
Maybe.
don't know, if I put a whole...
Maybe, yeah. I'm actually been really thinking about, I have been thinking about changing out our coffee table, because it does have a little bit more of an industrial vibe to it, and I don't know, I think I want something different. And because we live in such small spaces, it makes it hard to make choices about what we put in our house. This is Debbie's DIY clear wax, and I use a different brush for each of my waxes. So let me grab my clear wax brush, y'all.
Ruru2 said, which mold is the center?
Okay, so this is from Classic Elements. And then what I did is, after I left you guys the first week, I took just a little piece of something on that Classic Elements and I chopped it off and I filled in that space, because I didn't want this real swoopy thing going on. I wanted it a little more filled in, because it kind of reminded me more of that piece that was over on the IOD page.
As opposed to a bosom.
Well, now I wasn't going to think of that. A big smile, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, can you see a face in there?
I don't know.
Somebody posted.
It's really hard.
You could probably see just about anything on there that you wanted to see,
it's like the clothes.
right?
Yeah.
But we always look for faces and things, and it just cracked me up. A couple days ago, something ran across our Facebook feed, and it was like a little piece of hardware that had like the two holes. It was like a hinge type of a thing. It had the two holes where the screws went, and then it had like kind of an open, it looked like a D, but an open D. Oh. It was the cutest thing. It's like, it's a face. I love it. So cute. So before I do any colored waxes with DIY paint, I always want to get a base of wax down with clear. And the reason why is because the Debbie's DIY paint, because it's a chalk style paint, it's more porous. And so the wax will absorb into that. Now, if I were to apply dark wax directly onto this, I'd probably have a mess on my hands, really, because it would kind of suck in different places, and I would not be able to move that wax around to create the detail of shading that I wanted. But by putting a clear wax down first, it creates a base, and then it allows my white wax or my dark wax to move and slide a little more easily, so that I can control how I add those colored waxes. Question.
Elena Burr says, I have an old trunk for a coffee table, old worn out red. I'm thinking of painting it white and doing some molds on it.
Ooh, pretty. That sounds nice.
Karn says, I just finished painting a trunk and putting Chateau inlay on it, using as a coffee table. First time doing inlays and turned out better than imagined.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. You guys, I'm telling you, I know that, it's like an investment, and it's doing something new. And last night I showed my girls in our group, our journaling group, how yesterday, and my art journal is upstairs. I'm taking a year-long class. Oh, I want to point out, and then I'll get back to that. Debbie's DIY paint lightens up as it dries, but when I apply the wax, it deepens back to the original paint color. All right?
Yeah, you can definitely see that with that top drawer and the second drawer.
Absolutely.
Come to life again.
Anyway, where was I going? Oh, I know. So I'm working through this art journaling class and learning a different technique, using different tools. It's not that I haven't used these things before. Some of them I haven't, but it's been, like, for some of them, it's been since high school and college that I've used chalk pastels or used some of the techniques that I'm learning. And it's really pushing me, and it's way outside my comfort zone, right? But I'm thinking, okay, I paid for this class and I need to get something out of it. And I look at, like, this creative community and how incredibly fortunate we all are that there are not only, it's not only me, but there are other creators who do free tutorials. Every week we show up and we show you how to use these products. Now, that means you don't have to go pay for a class, but you could invest, if it's within your budget, invest $49 in an inlay and have it be something like Rose Chintz that you can do in small parts and pieces to practice and get comfortable with. And man, I don't know, I would pay $50 and have tons of free videos and free lessons to be able to use it. But the truth is, you know how I learned to use inlays? By using them. By actually using them. And were all of my efforts perfect and flawless? Absolutely not. But I learned something every time that I applied an inlay on a coaster or on a little box or just on a piece of board. I learned something about my paints and my mediums that I'm using and my application process. So to me, that's worth 100 times that $50, $49 investment when you get to teach yourself and learn yourself just hands-on and try and try and try.
And a lot of times those little imperfections, you are the only one that notices them.
Isn't that the truth? Mm-hmm. It really is true. I always say we have the 10-step rule at L&J Goods. I am 10 inches away from this right now. I am seeing every little, oh, I didn't blend that good enough. Oh, shoot, what should I, oh, this is like, that has a straight line there. I wish I would have blended it more, or maybe I should have sanded a little more here, or part of the inlay is missing. But when I get 10 feet away from this tomorrow, I am not going to notice what I'm seeing 10 inches away, right? And the other rule we have at L&J Goods is there is no crying over crafting, ever. We cry at staff meetings, but not over crafting. Because it can all be fixed. And 9 times out of 10, nobody else is going to ever notice it. Unless she's a mean girlfriend who does the same thing and would point it out. Which would be awful. Just awful.
Stephanie said, now that they have the smalls, I think I'll try the paint inlays.
Oh, the melange? Yes.
And Sandy said the melange inlay is perfect to get comfortable doing inlays.
It's so true. It really is. And you have a lot of variety there. I did a live over on Facebook. If you don't follow us over there, I know we've got kind of a crossover audience here, but I shared a really cool tutorial, and I did a trash can, and we showed how we use that melange like 3 different times. I used them on painted, like Apothecary style jars, but it was a great visual lesson, and I just looked at like, okay, we've got, and I said, like, we have 6 bees here. I've used these bees 3 times each. That's 18 images. 18 images. Are they all going to be the perfectly crisp you know, first time use. No, only 6 of them will. The second 6 times you use them, each of those 6 bees, it's going to be a little more faded. And the third time, even a little more faded. But guess what? We even liked the way that looked. It was so faded in the background. It was awesome. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to use that spent inlay paper, and I'm going to use that in my journal as part of mixed media. So I know they can seem a little spendy, like a little spendy for an inlay, but I promise you, you will get a lot of use out of them. So the other thing about when you're waxing the DIY paint is it can look a little splotchy at first, which is why I love something with a lot of pattern going on, because mine looks splotchy anyway, even before I put the wax on. But it can look a little bit splotchy, but the magic of it is tomorrow it will all even out. I don't know how it happens, but it all looks beautiful. It really does.
Vintage Magnolia is here.
Hi,
She said
Michelle.
hello. And she said, I've been looking forward to this.
Yes. Can you believe how pretty this is?
Sandra Holtzmuller said, love the golden ticket on there.
I do too, but it's not too gold, right? And that's what I like about it. It's kind of an aged, vintagey, subtle gold. So I'm going to lay this wax down. This is clear wax. I'm not going to do the entire dresser and bore you with all of that. It would be like, really like watching paint dry. But then I take a microfiber and I'm just going to remove any excess, especially down in these little creases here.
So you talk about the sanding of the chalk.
Uh-huh.
I more so hate the feeling
Of a microfiber?
cloth.
Really?
I hate how they catch on your, like, ooh.
I know. It's like pantyhose, right?
Yes, yes.
It really is like, ew, especially when we got crafting hands.
Yes, because it catches on the skin.
Oh my gosh. So this microfiber or a soft t-shirt, if you're using a light color, use a white or light color t-shirt if that's what you're using. Because you don't want any dark lint coming off on this or fibers. But I am just going to remove and wipe back that excess. Okay. And I want to feel it so it's got a nice hand to it. I don't want, so my hand like slips across here. I don't want it caught on wax.
Vintage Magnolia said, super pretty, Lynn.
It's so pretty, isn't it, Michelle? And I got to tell you, this inlay looks beautiful no matter what paint color you put it on. I think Megan shared maybe last week or the week before that going through the shop or seeing some things that I'd done, I'm like, that's rose chintz? Like, because it looks different on every color that you put it on. Alrighty. So let's do a little white wax. And here it is. And here it is. These tinted waxes, a little goes a long way, but they're easy to build. As long as we can see what's happening here in the camera. Do we have a good view?
I can zoom up a little bit.
Nice. So let's get that on there. And it's not going to remain this white and chalky looking because we're going to take some of this back. Okay, we'll let that be enough for now. And then I'm just going to wipe back. Oh, how pretty.
Vintage Magnolia said, I'm working on a vintage dresser, striped front and sides, drawers and all. 3 pinstripe oval frames, all to do with showcasing bungalow.
Oh my gosh, that sounds incredible. That's a really pretty transfer. Okay, so that really did help to tone that down. And then if I wanted to remove even more, of course, those of you that are familiar with wax, you can always use the clear wax as a little bit of an eraser. It'll probably show a little bit better when I put some dark wax on this. But by applying that clear wax first, it totally makes my job easier. This is just such a classic chalk paint finish. With the wax, I love it. I'm hoping you guys can see the difference. Where you're really going to see it is when I come in with a little bit of dark wax and grunge this up just a touch more. So I do want to say with my handles, which I am not doing today, I have 3 very French provincial style handles. I'm going to actually paint them just like I painted this. I'm going to do a little bit of white, I'm going to do a little bit of pink, I'm going to splotch a little bit of the mint chip, a little faded burlap, and then the gold over top.
Margaret Coxhead just came on and said, hey y'all, coming on late. I love that chest of drawers.
It's pretty, isn't it? It sure is pretty. To me, it's like it totally took French Provincial to a whole new dimension.
Dana Miller said, are you going to add gold to the dresser's swirly original details?
I don't know, Dana. It might be a little too much for me. Like here, I just don't know. It's one of those things I might need to wait until it's all done and I get the hardware on. But and remember, I'm going to have the same kind of goldish look right here. But that might be just a bit too much for me. I don't know yet. Okay? I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't.
Stephanie B2 said, I'm trying to decide if I should use white or dark wax on my French Provincial cabinet. It's ivory with those spiral columns on each side. I'm leaning towards white.
Sure. But you can do both, Stephanie B. You know that? You can use both, and that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So let me get my little pot of dark wax.
Vintage Magnolia said, how's the progress on the portrait, Lynn?
Well, I haven't done a thing to it. I have not done anything more to it. Uh-oh. Do I not have my dark wax down here? Yikes. I think that, let me see. Laura Jean, I might need you to run up and get me some dark wax.
Okay.
It's in that long, tall... Oh, wait a second. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's clear. You know, it's like me to have 3 things of clear wax open and no dark wax. But it's in that long cupboard. Oh, what'd you find?
I don't know. Something just fell down my shirt.
But if you could just grab that for me, okay. I would appreciate it. This is black wax. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to even go there.
It's in a can?
It's in a can.
And it says dark wax?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless, of course, Laura Jean can't find my dark wax, and then I might have to. But, well, you know what? Let's just for the heck of it, let's just get a tiny little bit. Because I can't help myself. And you know, if I didn't like this, what I can do is I can come in with a clear wax and take that right off. She's still looking, like, where is it? But that might be just enough to give it a little shadow, a little grunge. Did you find it?
I found it.
Yay! Because of course I couldn't wait and I had to go right ahead and start using some black wax. Man, there's nothing better than just a big pot of wax. I love it. Oh, and you guys are like, no, you ruined it. Don't do this. But I'm going to show you.
Vintage Magnolia said, is that you, Laura Jean, on comments today? I look forward to meeting you soon.
Yes.
Yes, it is. You can tell because I am not nearly as good at this as Megan is.
Oh,
but
stop.
I look forward to meeting you too.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to take a little bit of that clear wax and I'll use it as an eraser.
Margaret said, my favorite element is the blending of paint underneath the inlay. It is gorgeous.
Isn't that so pretty? What a wonderful new technique.
Irma says, hello from the Netherlands.
Hi, Irma. Irma, okay, I was actually messaging with my sweet friend Gia from the Netherlands. I want to come to the Netherlands so badly. Oh my gosh. I want to come there so badly. Plan a trip, see Andre Rieu and Maastricht. And maybe take a workshop.
Would you? For my ancestors, because I'm Norwegian.
You are?
Like, yes, even though you wouldn't think it because I have
that
such
dark hair. I know.
Although I do look like the Swiss Miss girl today.
With your braids. I love it. Oh my gosh. But you know what? But can you guys see the very subtle shading that this creates? And I like it. I don't need a lot of that dark wax, but I do like that little bit of subtle shading.
Stephanie says she's 3/4 Norwegian.
Oh.
And Patty Levine says, oh, I love that. I will go to the Netherlands with you.
Please, let's do it. We were just like, of course, we were, Megan and I were like begging the money boss here about about an incredible 4-day artist retreat that's happening in the Netherlands, and I want to go so badly. But it's in May, like the week before our retreat, and he's like, this is impossible. You cannot plan a trip like that just 2 months out. I'm like, oh, all right. Next year I would love for a bunch of us to be able to go. Oh my gosh, it would be amazing.
Patricia Wickersham says, Lynn, I love the shading. It's like icing on a cake.
Exactly, Patty. I mean, it's very subtle, but it's an important part of creating that dimension. It really is. And the beauty of this is tomorrow, if I feel like, you know, I think it needs a little something more here or there. Maybe I want to add a little more white through the center. Maybe I want to add a little more shading. Then I can do that. I can continue to come back to this to get the look that I desire. Sometimes it does take me stepping away, just like I have to step away from that art journal. And like, I literally reached out yesterday to 2 of my favorite artist friends, and one of them happens to be my grandson, August, and I showed them what I was doing and said, I'm just not feeling confident right now. And you know what both of them said? Step away from it. Just leave it, and they're right. They're right. This is going to look totally different to me when I come in tomorrow, and I'm going to see it with even fresh new eyes. So I can adjust and make changes where I feel it needs it. But the beauty of this type of a technique is that there's so much pattern going on. There's so much texture going on that you're really not seeing. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I think the less perfect it is, the better it looks.
Lori Slate said this is fantastically awesome, Lynn.
Oh, thank you, Lori. And Patty Wickersham, I'm so happy you're here with us. I did not know you followed us over here on YouTube. Patty's got Boston Terrier. Patty, did you celebrate National Boston Terriers Day a few weeks back? Chintz didn't celebrate. I was shocked. We asked him if he wanted to do anything special, and he just laid there and slept.
He celebrates every day.
Yeah, you're right, he does. Isn't that the truth?
He has the life. I want to come back as Chance in my next life.
I know. So I'm going to show you another really kind of a fun little technique with this is if I get just the tiniest bit of wax on here and I work it into that brush, I can use this as kind of like a little makeup brush. I'm doing a little contouring. So the wax is a bit drier.
Patricia said every day is Boston Terrier Day.
Isn't that the truth with those dogs? I'm telling you. Nobody knows how important Chance is more than Chance. But see this? Like I can kind of dry brush that on. Think of like when you're applying your blush or a little contour on your face. You can do that with just that little bit of wax on your brush. You just kind of play with it and work it around.
Stephanie says, well, I don't wear makeup, so...
So that's foreign concept to you. I get it.
Well, maybe you could learn makeup from doing this. Go the other way. Or you could just not, because...
Exactly. I always say, here's my new line. So 9 times out of 10, I'm moving in such a hurry. Like my makeup bag is here. I've got 2 sets of makeup, 3 actually. One at home, one for the shop, and then my good makeup, which I tend to leave here most of the time. And so I come in the morning, and it takes me literally until like a half hour before I go live to put my makeup on. But now I've realized I'm actually just allowing my skincare to soak in and to do its job without any interference.
I think that's a great way to look at it.
Okay, ladies and gents, I think that is going to do it for today. I don't know that we're going to be back next week with this project because what more can we do? You don't want to watch me wax the sides and the top, but what I will do is maybe I'll do a little quick shorts to show how I do the hardware and throw that up in the YouTube shorts. And then I'll put that on and make a really beautiful, beautiful final beauty shot of it and share it with you all. If you are not in our text group, you can join our text group. The number is in the description box below, and I'll send a picture there first. But also, if you join our text group, you can find out about some really fun stuff that we're doing and know when we're going live. And who knows, you might get a really funny birthday wish as well. So I think that wraps it up for today. Thank you, you guys, so much. If you're here with us and you are in our junk journal group, we'll see you in a few hours tonight over on Facebook. And that is a wrap, you guys. So have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. We'll see you Friday upstairs to do a fun Jeanne d'Arc living inspired Easter project.